Kourtney Kardashian has responded to the new turn in Khloe and Scott's frightening relationship. And her response is completely astounding. Wow, she's coming. I don't comprehend demeanor. I'm so scared of her. I'm like so terrified of her. No get it after Kourtney's new pregnancy news. Scott has been truly harmed and appears as though he's turning the alternate way. And looking for solace from Khloe in such difficult stretches, what's more basic is that Khloe and Scott's dreadful history has fans stress that something is again cooking between the two. And it's not only that Scott's new move has been considered disputable by fans, and to finish it off, Kourtney has likewise responded to Scott's new playing occurrence. With Khloe, will Scott and Khloe become a thing soon? Or can Kourtney prevent that from happening? Stay tuned for some fiery Kardashian show. I simply don't have the energy for this. My head is on an alternate planet, and I feel like I'm carrying on with an alternate life. I'm withdrawing from this dramatization at any rate. So the new dramatization started when in the new episode of The Kardashian, Scott asked Khloe out on the town. I ask you don't do this on dates. Is what it is with me, yet like it's revolting. For what reason don't we go out on the town? So you can see what it's like, you and me. Definitely so you get to practice. And afterward, when you meet someone, fans were truly stubborn about this dating thing. And again, everybody began addressing how it was peculiar and unseemly. One fan tweeted, "It's a poorly conceived notion to go out with your sister's beau who you have nieces and a nephew with." Throughout the course of recent years, a ton of hypothesis has ascended about the truth of Khloe and Scott. While the connection among Scott and Khloe didn't begin an extraordinary note, and they've had their portion of contrasts, the connection among Khloe and Scott has developed from staying aware of the Kardashians to Hulu's The Kardashians, and is making all of us can't help thinking about what Scott truly is doing with regards to Khloe. Purportedly, Khloe was perpetually discontent about Scott thumping Kourtney up, while the purposes behind Khloe being grouchy about Kourtney and Scott's pregnancy are many. Yet as per fans, she was profoundly vexed in light of the fact that she felt weak at the knees over Scott. Yet your sister is pregnant. Music. You're not pregnant. I took like 20 pregnancy tests. They all stay good. How could I would deliberately like your she's Maxim? I attempted to do it. How could he maintain that should do it intentionally to keep you around as a result of how frequently? And you realize this was a reliable method for keeping you in here. Khloe had in a real sense attacked Kourtney. What she learned about the pregnancy, one fan remarked Khloe was just distraught on the grounds that she felt weak at the knees over Scott, and the pregnancy was a major shock to her, in light of the fact that clearly Kourtney and Scott had separated before the pregnancy thing came out. In any case, Scott and Khloe's relationship had recently caused a ton of debate among fans. Pee on the floor. Do you assume you look hot? I would employ you as like a hot servant. Topless me. The steady teases among Khloe and Scott are shameful. For example, this one time when Khloe was visiting Scott, she saw something on the floor and she went kneeling down to wipe it. And that is when Scott recommended that she was hot. And she was hot to the point that he couldn't want anything more than to recruit Khloe as a hot servant. Talking about the bizarreness among Khloe and Scott, every individual who's been staying aware of the key group recalls how unseemly Scott and Khloe have been together in the past. Recollect when Scott requested that Khloe take her top off, and she truly did it off. You can wear that as a dress above all else. This would it be a good idea for me? I take my bra off to listen. I was trying to say you shouldn't. Better believe it. I love it. Scott continually plays with Khloe and dislike Khloe doesn't understand it. She once talked about teases, yet what's shocking here is that she guarantees Scott to be her sibling anyway. She never ends the consistent being a tease. I wish I missed this spot. We didn't necessarily have an extraordinary relationship. I have gone to outrage the board over Scott, that in some way Scott and I the cam like best friends. And he truly resembles a sibling to me. God probably thought outside the box when he made you assist him with getting these cameras out of here and go higher up. Then, that being said, he addresses me perhaps somewhat more coquettish than my genuine sibling. Does it's by all accounts not the only strange thing about their relationship in any event. When Kourt and Scott were a thing you used to yell about Kourtney to Khloe, an attempt to draw near to Khloe and Khloe, could quit worrying about the tirade about her own sister one. Such improperly unusual occasion was when Scott attempted to get in bed, with Khloe observed, so I need to get worked out of the house. No, she needs to work everything out such that awkward, that I can't rest or be any place. So I need to leave, gracious one. She would rather not throw me out. She simply believes that me should leave is it odd on the off chance that I remained with you a long time. I mean, I think it gets odd after you're snoozing here this evening. Oh, wasted time else. To go you can't rest it around evening time with me. You need to lay down with your better half who's pregnant, yet we're close sufficient that I could rest here. I'm not saying you can't yet for an evening. Or something, definitely you only said for half a month. Let me slide you into it. No, an evening or two will transform into more that is advanced like this. Khloe, don't become odd about this. And do you all recall when they were in a tub together? That's right, don't be frightened at this point. In light of the fact that the truth will knock your socks off, fans have had blended responses to their closeness. Yet yes, a few fans truly find it odd that they are excessively close. One fan remarked on Scott and Khloe in a bath together, and said my sister would kill me assuming I did this with her child daddy. Their relationship is demonstrating people can deny their physical allure and keep a fair fellowship. Another fan was thoroughly delivery the couple, and remarked Khloe and Scott ought to absolutely go out. Without a doubt, it's odd they ought to do them, may be content with him. And he may be content with her presently. Do you folks realize the reason why most fans imagine that Khloe and Scott are appropriate for one another? It's not only that they are blissful around one another, but at the same time it's that at whatever point Khloe was in need, Scott had her back. So back when Tristan undermined Khloe, Scott was there to help Khloe through her difficult stretches. Scott sent an enormous bunch of pink roses to Khloe. When the report about Tristan undermining her came out, Scott additionally posted an image of the rose bouquet with a sweet message. The message read, "I love you, let the ruler be with you." She composed heart. "Thank you and psyche you God," has Khloe covered. As well as Khloe likewise has his a couple of years prior, when Scott was Khloe's first point of contact for everything, including building her up via virtual entertainment. Scott got a ton of backfire when fans addressed in the event that Scott and Khloe are still close. And think about what Khloe showed her help for Scott openly, and said, "I support Scott, and will always uphold him, he's my sibling." It's not on an NDA stage, miserable new world. Assuming there are no photographs individuals, think it truly didn't work out. Yet yes, I see Scott frequently. A few things truly are similarly, as they are, while certain fans truly transport their adoration. Most fans believe it's by and large unpleasant. You need to know why they have strongly cozy discussions. So back when Khloe was anticipating a boob work, think about who she had the conversation about the size of instead of her bosoms. Yes, Scott, he saw me at a wedding like this. Would you resemble assuming you were with the date? Or without a date? No, either would you one way or the other I'd resemble. I mean you chipped on me 3 circumstances, such as come on now that Scott's back in the image. It's simply not a similar. I scarcely see Kourtney. I think Scott is compromised by our relationship and how close we are, so that is somewhat baffling these days. In light of the fact that you and Lamar aren't together 24/7 like we are, don't you'd never see you any longer at any point. That is not it. When she at last got it, Scott was there to encourage Khloe. The unseemliness went on for some time, put it as an afterthought, so it gives it a little gracious shake, and prepare Scott that is extremely unseemly. I need to ensure that you're great. I know how you like it harsh. I don't think it looks awful how it is, Khloe. It's not us. Even Kim thought it was ridiculously unseemly, these boobs. Why, for heaven's sake, would you need to finish your boobs? I think it so suits you and fits you. Do you have at least some idea the amount of a certainty manufacturer? This is the thing. Are you doing in here this, Kourtney? This is truly improper. Khloe or me, the two of them, better believe it. I do this all the time in any case. Fans imagine that the odd connection among Scott and Khloe is strangely upsetting on the grounds that Kourtney doesn't merit it. Fans likewise feel that it's uncalled for of Khloe to do this to Kourtney. Entire other video, Scott has freely emerged and said that he believes that Khloe merits better compared to Tristan, and by he was one of the principal individuals supporting Khloe. And obviously we can't disregard when Scott called Khloe flawless, or when he did this. Yet I mean, do we truly imagine that Khloe would do that to her sister? I mean, sensibly Scott would presumably go there. Yet Khloe, I don't know, I'm Emily with the things. And told us your thought process in the remarks. Likewise, one thing that fans have been obsessed with is that Khloe generally calls Scott her sibling. And presently Scott is asking Khloe out on the town. Makes things super odd. Yet Khloe's response will knock your socks off. An insider source near Khloe connected and expressed things among Kourtney and Khloe have been odd, yet it's for the most part in light of the fact that Khloe feels that Kourtney could have an issue anyway. That is not the case. Kourtney is carrying on with her life and has too much going on. She continued on from Scott quite some time in the past, yet Scott and Khloe have their qualms about their relationship and don't have any desire to push ahead on the grounds that they figure it will obliterate their relational peculiarities. What is your take on Kourtney's point of view towards Scott and Khloe's relationship? Will Khloe and Scott at any point become a thing?